Welcome to English as a Second Language Podcast's English Cafe, Episode 2. This is the English Cafe, Episode 2. I'm your host, Dr. Jeff McQuillan, coming to you from the Center for Educational Development in beautiful and today sunny Los Angeles, California. We have had a lot of rain recently here in Southern California, in Los Angeles, and today it is beautiful and sunny. So we are back to normal here. Well, I hope you are back to normal, meaning I hope you are doing well as you were before after the New Year holiday. On today's English Cafe, we are going to talk a little bit about New Year's, and we have some news about popular books in the United States. Let's get started then with a little news. I want to thank Dimitri, and I think Dimitri is in Germany. He emailed me about a story that we talked about during the first episode of English Cafe about the expression Generation X. You remember that Generation X describes people who were born after, say, 1964, 65, usually up through maybe the 1980s. And this expression, I wasn't sure where it came from. And Dimitri says that it comes from a novel called, what else? Generation X, of course. And it is about people born in that time period. So thank you, Dimitri, for that information. Well, we are now beginning a new year, and it's very popular during the time around the 1st of January to talk about New Year's resolutions. And a resolution is a promise that you make to change something about the way you live your life. And I came across a list of the top 10 most popular New Year's resolutions here in the United States, and I thought I would read some of those to you. The first one is to spend more time with friends and family. To spend more time, to be with friends and family more. This information, by the way, comes from about.com website, and they say that recent surveys, recent polls, a poll, P-O-L-L, is when you go out and you ask people questions, get their opinion. A recent poll found that more than 50% of Americans vow to appreciate loved ones. The expression to vow, V-O-W, means to promise. So they're promising to appreciate, to think about, to be kind to their loved ones. And loved ones is another word, or another term for people in your family, usually. Your loved ones are usually your brother, your sister, your mother, your husband, and so forth. The number 2 resolution was to be fit in fitness. To be fit is F-I-T, means that you are healthy, that you exercise, that you do things good for your body. To be fit is the expression. Don't confuse that expression, to be fit, with another verb in English, to fit. To fit means that usually a piece of clothing, like your shirt or your pants, is the right size for you. It's not too big, it's not too small. You can say, oh, that shirt fits you. It means that shirt is the right size for you. But this expression is to be fit. And when someone says to be fit, I am fit, for example, they mean that they are in good health. We might sometimes say in good shape. I'm in good shape, meaning I'm healthy, my body is healthy. And of course, exercising regularly is a very good way to stay fit. Fitness, Fitness, is just the idea of being fit. Okay? Number 3 resolution, and I won't read all of these, but I'll just read a couple more. Number 3 is to lose weight, and this is a good one for me. I ate too much over the holiday break. That's what happens when I take a vacation. I eat too much, and so now I need to lose weight. There was a survey that found that 55% of adults in the United States weigh too much, are overweight, which is all one word, overweight. And more than half of American adults are overweight. So you'll see that's a good place for Americans to start stop eating so much. It's interesting if you travel to different parts of the United States. In some cities like Los Angeles, being fit, being healthy is very important. Your physical image, what other people see you, is very important. And so you don't see as many people overweight in Los Angeles. If you go to other parts of the country, I don't want to say where those are, but outside of the big cities, let's say, outside of Los Angeles, not in Los Angeles or not in San Francisco or not in New York, but other places in between, you will find people who are more overweight, and it is a problem. So those are the top 3 New Year's resolutions, and you can compare those with your New Year's resolutions. I had a little technology news I wanted to tell you about. You may have heard this story already. There was a professor at an American university. The university is Northwestern University. And he says that many people are having problems with their hearing, and the reason is because of the iPod and the MP3 players. The popular way of listening to these is to use something called, in English, an earbud. And an earbud are those, for the iPod, small white little things you put in your ear. Before, we always used to have what were called headphones. And you'll remember headphones, all one word. Headphone is the thing that covers your ear. So you put this thing over your head, and it covers your ear, your entire ear, all of your ear. But the earbud just goes inside the ear. And according to this professor, people are listening to music more loudly, and podcasts, I guess, more loudly, and so that can damage your hearing. I said damage your hearing. I'm just kidding. So that's something you want to be careful about with your earbuds. Now let's talk a little bit about popular culture. The biggest newspaper in the United States, or the most important newspaper, is called the New York Times. The New York Times. And they every week, like a lot of newspapers, publish the most popular books in the United States, what we would call the best-selling books. a book that is a bestseller. Bestseller is one word. Are books that are most popular. And I thought we'd take a look at some of the most popular books in the United States. Some of these books I don't think would be translated in other countries, but I'm not sure. The number one most popular book is a thriller. A thriller, Thriller. A thriller is a novel, a story that very exciting things happen. To thrill someone is to excite or to get someone excited. And it's a thriller by someone called James Patterson, and it's called Mary, Mary. The number two book this week is a mystery novel. Usually someone gets murdered, and then the detective tries to find out what happened. And this one is by a woman who has written lots and lots of mysteries. Her name is Sue Grafton. Sue Grafton, and her book is called S is for Silence. S, the letter S, is for silence. And all of her books have that format where the name of the book is, for example, B is for burglar, something to do with crime. Going down here to some other ones. Number 5 on the list is one that you may have heard of. It's called the Da Vinci Code. The Da Vinci Code, and the author is Dan Brown. This book has actually been available for several months, but it is still very popular, and they are going to be making a movie about this book sometime, I believe. They've already started. It's going to be starring, in other words, the main actor, the star, is going to be Tom Hanks, who is a famous American actor. I should say that Da Vinci, D-A and V-I-N-C-I, that of course is Leonardo da Vinci, the famous artist from Italy. Now it's time to answer some questions. I received a question from Ahad, A-H-A-D, in Ontario, Canada, and Ahad asks about a expression that he heard, "Oh my goodness." O spelled O-H, oh my goodness, and asked me what that expression means. Well, when someone says, oh my goodness, that is when they are expressing surprise that something has happened. Usually something bad has happened. So, for example, you say to your wife, I had a car accident. I hit my car against a wall. And she would say, oh my goodness. It's a polite, sort of informal way of expressing surprise. Some people, of course, express surprise by using a bad word or a vulgar word, what we would call a swear word. To swear, S-W-E-A-R, means to use a bad word. I won't use any of them here, but you probably know some in English already if you watch American movies or television. But that's the meaning of oh my goodness, so thank you, Ahad, for that question. Another question comes from Gerhard in Germany, and Gerhard wants to know the meaning of the expression against all odds. 3 words, against all odds, O-D-D-S. Against all odds means when something is very difficult, that something's very difficult to do, and yet you do it anyway. You're able to do something that no one else thought you could do, or that it was very difficult to do. Let's say it's snowing and the wind is blowing, as it has been in Europe recently. Lots of snow and 5 feet of snow on the ground, and you decide you're going to go running. Well, that may be possible. It would be very difficult. But you go outside and you start running, and against all odds, you are able to run a mile. So against all odds means with great difficulty, but you're able to do it anyway. Well, we, as always, appreciate your questions, and you can email those to eslpod@eslpod.com. We'd also love to hear from you. We get lots of emails, but we can also, now that we have this new English Cafe podcast, if you would like to send audio feedback, a audio file to us, you can do that as well with your comments and questions, and we'll play those on the podcast. That's all we have time for today. I want to thank you for listening to our second English Cafe. We'll be back again tomorrow with a regular ESL podcast, and English Cafe will return next week. From Los Angeles, I'm Jeff McQuillan. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on the English Cafe. ESL Podcast is a production of the Center for Educational Development in Los Angeles, California. This podcast is copyright 2005. No part of this podcast may be sold or redistributed without the express written permission of the Center for Educational Development.